This bubbling bowl of goodness here is a ruana bug. And if you live here in New Zealand like I do, you might know what I'm talking about. This is to make the traditional Māori loaf ruana bread. This is a fantastic starter to make as it contains no yeast, just potatoes, sugar and flour. So quite possibly things you already own. It takes 6 days to make, and after 6 days you can make beautiful ruana bread. So if you've never made it before, you're in good hands, because this is the first time I've ever made it, and I've certainly ended up with a beautiful Rēwena bug ready to bake my loaf. I love learning new things, so why don't you come along with me and learn how to make this potato ruana bug starter to make your beautiful loaves. Rēwena bread is a traditional Māori bread from here in New Zealand. Instead of commercial yeast, it uses a fermented potato starter, known as a potato bug. So what is it and what does it do? This will leaven our bread much like you would do in a sourdough. This is very similar. It has that sour smell about it, but it is all made from natural yeasts that we find in the environment. This is a fermentation made in a traditional way. It takes between 4 to 6 days to make, depending on how hot or how cold your kitchen is, and it will rise your bread beautifully. If you enjoy making bread from all around the world and different places, make sure you subscribe, because I love making bread. I've got a whole playlist dedicated to it, and make sure you pop on that bell, because next week we're making this amazing starter into the delicious loaf that it can become. So let's get into making this lovely bowl of jiggly starter. As I said in the beginning, you only need 3 ingredients: your potato, some sugar and some flour. This is also a great way to use up maybe some potatoes that are getting a bit like this. As we can see, a few eyes on these potatoes and they're becoming a little bit soft. If you are new here, I also hate waste. So this is a great way to use these up, and then we can have a delicious bubbly starter ready to go for whenever we want to make this fantastic bread. So let's get this on, and I'm going to show you step by step, day by day, how to make it. We first off need to start with the potatoes, so I'm gonna peel these, although my original bug, I did not peel them. Let me know in the comments, is that right or is that wrong? But for this one, we're going to peel them, and you will need 1 medium to large potato, or in my case, these 2 small potatoes. So we're gonna peel these, get them on, and we're gonna add it to a pan of water, and we are gonna cook these until they are super soft. We're gonna keep the potato liquid because we need to use that to make some of our starter in the beginning. So the potatoes are fully cooked, but remember, you need to keep that potato water because we need to add it in when we make the starter. So I like to do it over a colander, over a bowl, because we all know that sometimes things end up down the sink when you actually want to keep them. So this is a great fail-safe way to make sure you collect it. So we'll save the water for later. We'll mash this up with a fork. And then we just need to let that cool a little, and then we can mix everything together. And that's the first part of this starter done. So I've mashed up all the potato here in the bowl, and as you can see, I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of the potato, add it to my bowl, 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of the potato flour. And as you can see here, I just have a 1/2 cup and a 1/4 cup, which will make 3/4 of a cup. Make sure you save the rest of this for later, add that in, and we're just going to stir it together. And that is it, that's the first part done. Now we're just gonna cover that up with either a little bit of cling film. You can also put it maybe in a jar with a loosely fitting lid, but you wanna put it somewhere warm in your house. Currently it's summertime here in New Zealand, so the kitchen is actually the perfect temperature because warmth is gonna make this activate and do its thing. And if you're living somewhere where it's currently cold right now, we're gonna cover it up. You could even put it maybe in a little like insulated bag, you know, something like you might take to the supermarket to keep your stuff cool. Put it in one of them and sit it maybe in a airing cupboard if you have one, or maybe even in the microwave, you know, which might sit on top of your fridge. Plus in there a nice little environment that's like warm and cozy. You just need to make sure you keep it out of direct sun wherever you put it. So then we're we're going to move on to days 1 to 5, and by the end you should be ready to bake. It's day 1. It's really changed consistency from the day before, and now we're going to make the addition of the half a cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of warm water. And that's it, all mixed together, ready to go. Make sure you cover it up and keep in a warm place. This photo was at the end of day 1 of feeding, and as you can see, it's becoming bubbly. Now it's day 2 of the feed. Look at the difference in this bug. It's jiggly, it's got holes in the top where it's breathing, so let's give it a feed. And for this, we need 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of potato water. Mix it all together into a big bowl. It does look quite thick, but once you add in that warm potato water, it will loosen up. Pop on the cover, keep it to one side again. So here we are at day 3. I'm going to add half a cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of warm water. And once again, we're going to cover it up and keep it in a warm place. On day 4, we will add 1 cup of flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of that last bit of remaining potato water. By the 5th day, your bug should look bubbly. If not, repeat day 1 and bake on day 6. And we've made it to the end. Here it is, our bubbly starter ready to go. As I said at the start, depending if you're in a hot or a cool place, it might take a little bit longer. This is actually day 4, and I think we're ready to go. So now that it's all bubbly and active, we can turn it into a loaf, but that is going to be next week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on how to use this thing and bake it. And hey, if you're watching this week, get this made, and then you can bake along next week when I bring out the other video. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, and maybe you want to learn how to make a classic sourdough starter, I've got a masterclass out now. You can find it on my website. The link is in the description along with this recipe. Make sure you subscribe, follow along, and hopefully this will turn into a beautiful loaf. So I'll see you then, and make sure you have a good week.